How's it going, guys? It's Evan with Underhill Bonsai, and welcome to Say Bonsai 2025. We're kicking off on day one, which is going to be Friday, the 28th, and we got there today. Yesterday was set up, so the 27th, we spent all day getting the tent filled, putting all the trees on display that you see behind me, and getting our vendors and our demonstrations set up for the day. So this is the soft opening day. Friday on bonsai conventions tends to be a little bit more of get people in, let them enjoy the show, let them look around, you know, talk to our guest artists and explore the space, explore our vendors, and then tomorrow we're really going to get into it. So, but tomorrow we're going to get the brass band in, and we're going to have some Storyville stompers, some really good classic just New Orleans jazz going. So that's going to be a good time.
Guys, I'm Mike Lane from Kitsune Bonsai. I come from Fort Myers, Florida. I trained at Weigert's Bonsai for many, many years, and I'm probably at this point a well-known instructor to many of you guys. My display here is a triple tree mame display. I've got 3 different trees and several different accoutrements. I'm a big collector of high-end containers and just bonsai pottery as a whole, and so several of these pots are famous potters or potters from that are well sought after in Japanese pottery. One is an Ichio, Hariyoshi, and a Kawada pot, and I also did my own for my third accent. I did a little shrimp that I tied. I tie flies also on the side, so I did a little shrimp, and that was the last little addition. I actually had a silver cat that was supposed to go in the middle, but I was a little worried that it was too small and might end up disappearing, so I decided to go with the shrimp. Mame display, very similar to Shohin display, so the same rules kind of apply, except you can show more trees because it's a smaller scale. So yeah, this is my display. We're here at Say Bonsai in Louisiana at Underhill Bonsai Nursery, and I'll be packing this up eventually and traveling it back to Florida, so it's good I brought a little mame display.
my name is Ketting, and I've been doing bonsai for really as long as I can almost remember. I saw a bonsai tree in the World Book Encyclopedias when I was about 5 or 6 and have been smitten with them ever since. But of course, being young and being at a point where there was no internet, it was difficult to get in the hobby. So I would take junipers, and and they would go the way of the West, like most people have lost trees. But as I got older and the internet became a thing, supplies, wire, pots, information became easier to get. Then about 20 years ago, I got very, very serious with my bonsai, and I'm a member of the Greater New Orleans Bonsai Society, and through them, I've been able to take a lot of really good workshops, and also through Brussels Bonsai Nursery in Memphis, been able to get some good trees, and that's where this tree has come from. The tree is a sea hibiscus, or Hibiscus tillensius, and this particular tree was actually imported by Brussels Martin from Taiwan. And the grower was the father-in-law of a famous Taiwan artist, Min Lo. And Min Lo knew Brussels was in buying trees, and his father-in-law was going to get rid of some trees. And so he hooked them up, and Brussels was able to import this one and I think 6 or 7 others. So we went to the nursery one day and saw the trees, and I'd never seen them before. I was totally unfamiliar. But one of the bonsai artists at Brussels, Kathy Shaner, was instrumental in telling me that these are really good trees. And I've had the tree about 15 years now, so it was less mature than it is now. The bark was less mature, but you could already see that it had this potential for the really gnarly bark and this real personality of being old and gnarly. So we purchased the tree, and I've been working on it ever since. About 2 years ago, I decided it was more of an upright and more of a balanced composition when I first got it, and I kept it that way out of respect for the original artist. But the more I had it, the more I really wanted to make it my tree. And one of the things that I saw in it was that if I gave it some directionality to the left and allowed the left side of the tree to grow out longer and bring in the right side of the tree, that it gave it a little bit more dynamic movement to me. And I think it's improved the tree. Most of the people that have known the tree over the years from our local club and from here at the nursery agree that they feel like the tree's better since I've given it some of this dynamic movement towards the left. It's real important to make sure that the trunk movement and the branch movements match and make sense. And this tree has always been maintained to do that. The pot was even chosen with Kathy Shaner in mind. She liked the fact that it needed a glaze. It's a tropical, and they take glazes very well, but this glaze really mirrored the green-gray of the bark. And she also liked the heads on the pot because they kind of are mimicked in the little bumps and irregular surface of the trunk. So this was all picked on purpose with Kathy Shaner and with helping us. And then just a nice, simple stand that allows the tree to stand out.
My name is Boyd Snailgrove. I'm the president of Bonsai Society of Acadiana, based in Lafayette, Louisiana, and the surrounding areas. I've been doing bonsai off and on since 1989, so about 35, 36 years now. More seriously, for probably 25 years. This is one of my trees that I acquired from one of our older members who, as he got up in age, started to get rid of some of his trees. This is a San Jose juniper that he actually won the state award in 2007 for this tree, although it looked very differently and actually laid on its side compared to how it's displayed now. So I acquired the tree maybe 15 years ago, and working with several artists, Dana Quattlebaum, one of them, Jennifer Price, we have kind of converted this tree now into a more upright design, and I think very much more striking in its appearance. But that's, it kind of emphasizes the need for us, as we do get older in bonsai, to be able to pass these trees along to other bonsai artists and not to let them just sit and dwindle and lose their quality. They're too valuable to the bonsai community to let them go like that. So hopefully before my time comes, I'll be able to pass many of my trees on to younger bonsai artists and see them flourish over time.
Hey there, Guy here from Underhill Bonsai Nursery out here in Folsom, Louisiana. I got the opportunity to talk a little bit about one of my old trees, a bald cypress that perhaps I collected Yamadori out of the swamps. My memory fails me, but I would say at least 15, 16 years ago. And so people want to know, why did I make my tree look this way? I'll say that it's one of the first trees that I was pushing into a classical bonsai style. And so you can see that I have this first branch, very boring second branch with a back branch in the middle. And as the branches get towards the top, they get smaller and they get closer together to end the story. And so I'm not necessarily saying with this statement, this is an ancient old bald cypress. I'm saying it could be any tree. It's not a flat top. However, I'm very happy with the tree the way it's turned out. And if you look to the back of the tree, you'll see that in order for me to get the taper that was required to make a nice tree, I had to hollow out the back of the tree. And some people may say it's the front. It's a matter of opinion, but it's a badass tree from the front or the back. And what I like about it most is, I guess, that it has lots of negative space between them and that there's few branches, but the branches are on the thicker side, which kind of makes the tree look older. And so the actual age of the tree might be perhaps 30 plus years old, collected from the swamps in Louisiana. And it's been in a bonsai pot for another 20 plus years or whatever it has been. If you'd like to take a peek, you should take a peek behind it. If you want to walk around, come with me and come take a peek because it has another side to it. And this side over here perhaps tells a different story. This story that I'm saying over here is it was perhaps the top was knocked out by a hurricane or struck by lightning, and it's hollowed out, but nonetheless it's recovering. You can see the wound wood it's making, and So you could argue, is this the focal point or is the side we started from the focal point? Right now, I'm happy with this side, and if things changed down the road and I'm convinced that this is a better side, well, maybe I'll switch it. But for now, I'm happy with it, and thanks for sharing a moment with me. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Say bonsai.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Smith, and I'm here at Say Bonsai as one of the guest artists. I've been doing bonsai for a really long time, and I don't want to kind of tell you how long, but it's been a really, really long time. So anyways, I did want to talk to you about here, Say Bonsai. This is a really cool event. They've only been around for about maybe 3 years. I heard about it from a couple of clients that said that they had come out and had a lot of fun. You can kind of hear the music in the backdrop. So there's like music, a beautiful display, lots of bonsai, workshops, demos, and good food. I even tried crawfish for the first time. So this is a really fun event, and I'm really glad to be here. So hope to be seeing you guys.
I'm Evan, and so I wanted to talk about this tree for a few moments with you guys. It's a tree I'm really excited about because there's a lot of different elements here that I have kind of been playing with in my mind as far as naturalism versus what's considered to be a little bit more of a classical approach. And also this tree is not something that I actually found. This is a big happy accident. And for some reason, a lot of my bonsai seem to be happy accidents, it turns out. So just a little bit of context on this tree. This is a bald cypress, Taxodium, not ascendens, Taxodium distichum. It actually was collected out of Doug Green's yard. So it was collected around 2018, probably 2019 maybe. And it really was not even close to what you see here. It was a solid trunk, and there are remnants here where the roots were cut back really hard, and this was on accident because the person who collected it wasn't collecting it because they necessarily considered, you know, the implications, what would happen to this tree. It was a quick thing. We needed extra stock around the nursery. It would have been a cool starter tree because of its trunk size. Because the cypress was cut so harshly, it caused a lot of dieback within this trunk, and bald cypresses are so resilient that it actually budded in various spots. So for a long time, this tree sat on the back 9 of the nursery here, and I noticed it had wood borers, like bugs in it. It had larvae falling out of it at one point, it had ants in it, and all kinds of crazy stuff was going on. But I did start pulling it and pulling some of the dead wood out, and I put some wire on a couple of years ago and played around with it. And it wasn't really until I had Laurent Darrow come in. Laurent was like, this seems special. So I was like, cool. And he's like, we pulled it in and we strapped down this first branch, and we had some other dropping elements to match that. And this branch right here is actually nailed into the trunk with roofing nails, which is really fun. And I think I might keep those on there as long as I can until it starts getting a little too crazy. But yeah, after the styling, I was like, that's cool. And it had some stuff in the middle here that I was kind of like, and Laurent was like, I love that big chunk of deadwood in there. And I got tired of it after he left, and I actually pulled it out. And it resulted in this really hollow piece here. And so we have vascular system and roots connected to everything you see here. And it's very obvious with the way that the vascular system runs down the sides of these dead sections. And so there's roots actually on all sides of this tree. And I went through and kind of gave it a little bit more play and let it grow out nice and healthy, and then put it in this Byron Meyer container. And after Laurent was gone, I had another friend of mine come by the nursery, and I was like, I want to repot this tree. And he was like, you're crazy putting it in this pot. But I knew from my experience with cypresses that these exposed roots there was gonna be no issue getting it in there. And once I put it in there, I knew, like, it was just, like I said, a big happy accident tree. And now it's one of my favorites, and it's I think it's going to be a really good tree. Right now it has a really strong, the trunk's not really there, but the trunk for what is there is very strong as far as the representation of bald cypress in the swamp, what happens to them over time as they hollow, and as they completely kind of start desiccating in the swamp, and they become at the end of life cycle is kind of what we're exploring here. So it's been around, this is suggesting this tree's been around for several hundred years. Something happened, brackish invasion, saltwater invasion in freshwater climates, hurricane damage, and then now we're left with the skeleton. And you can imagine yourself in a kayak down in the swamps, and you're in here exploring this tree and seeing all the way up through the top of it. So yeah, this has been a really fun tree to work with. And just one more thing to mention, this stand, I went through, and my grandfather is a cabinet builder in his former career, and now he just kind of plays with wood, and he loves helping me with these unique situations with my trees. And he was like, what if we did like a stool, but then the edges had live wood sections to kind of show off the live wood sections of the open areas of the tree. And I was just like, that's where it struck gold for me. So I gave him proportions. This is actually bald cypress wood, and then bald cypress live edge pieces as well. And I am very happy with everything here is planned. I love doing this. This is the collaborative part of Bonsai that I really love. I did the tree, Byron Myrick did the pot, and my grandfather did the stand. And just to throw a little bit extra in there, this is a little nodding onion. It's actually considered a weed or an unnecessary plant in our Louisiana lawns. It gets mowed over all the time. This thing has been overperforming. I collected one stalk, and it's been like rhizome root, just like connecting. It's a grass. So it's got seeds here, and then the new flowers. So it's like doing this whole rotation of flowering going into seed. So it's a really, really beautiful representation of spring, new flush leaves, and just, everything southern bonsai that I love. So yeah, I'm excited about this tree, and I'll be showing it quite a few times this year. So it's gonna be good. So cool, thank you.
I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I'm here at Underhill Bonsai for Say Bonsai 2025, and I'm super excited to be here. This is my first time to Louisiana, and I will say I'm having a fabulous time. So I've been doing bonsai for over 10 years. I just finished up a 3-year apprenticeship with Michael Hagedorn out in Portland, Oregon, and this is my first big show since I've been back. Let's see, I'm doing an azalea workshop this weekend. I have done a live recording of our podcast, Little Things for Bonsai People. Walked through the show, did a critique. There's some really interesting trees in the show. I'm getting a primer on bald cypress, which is a kind of bonsai I don't have a lot of experience with, but I hear Evan talk about a lot, so that's been super fun. And when I'm done here, I'll be heading back to Michigan, back to the University of Michigan, where I work there for the Mathi Botanical Gardens and Nichols Arboretum as a curator of bonsai. And I'll just say this has been a great start to the year of bonsai shows. There's a lot happening in 2025, and this has been a great party, essentially, to kick it off. We've got a brass band going, we got crawfish, we got vendors. It's been a really good time. So I hope everybody who sees this has enjoyed it and comes out to the next Say Bonsai.
This morning feeling great, and when I saw everything was going good, everybody was smiling, everybody was listening to music, eating crawfish, and enjoying really high quality bonsai. I was having a great time finally. So yeah, thank you guys for that. So the winner of People's Choice Award this year will be the San Jose Juniper by Boyd Snailgrove. Best individual show hen goes to a Silverberry by Mike Lane. I'm gonna call John with Joshua Roth Tools up to the front to help me with this next one.
Okay, so it's the Procumbens Nana by Pete Parker. Where are you at?
Pete Parker has won 2 awards this evening, that really awesome hat and Joshua Roth's. But anyway, so we're in Louisiana, bald cypress. A lot of you guys came from all around to see this. So we have a really unique, flavorful award for this one. So Doug is holding a Byron Myrick container that he made for us this evening. On the bottom, it says Best Bald Cypress Say Bonsai 2025. This also includes Miss Mary Green is a fabric artist, and she made a really special award for this as well. So in tradition of like a hanging scroll that you would see in like a 3-point display, she created this really beautiful award that will be hung next to our bald cypress in the show. Just some extra little lanyard for you there. We felt inspired, so we made this beautiful piece. So, man, this looks like it's pretty important, right? The person who wins this award had an outstanding bald cypress. It showed both the wild, the rugged, the Von Banting, both the down to the pond cypress all the way up to, all the other parts of the country in which this beautiful species exists. I mean, they exist all the way up past into Maine almost. So that wide range, and me and Doug believe that this tree represented a beautiful representation of that species. And this award goes to Rusty Harris. No, this is going to be a representation of what we believe is a high-class bonsai. We saw a lot of amazing bonsai at our show. I mean, last year there was great bonsai. This year it just seems like it keeps getting better and better. The level is going higher. More show trees, more things on display. For reference, Say Bonsai, the first time we did this, there was about 20 trees on display. The second year there was about 32, and this year I lost count. I think there was somewhere over 50. I met my goal this year, and it's thanks to all you guys. So thank you for submitting high-class, top-level displays this year. And of all of those displays, we believed that best tree was going to be the sea hibiscus by Ketting. All right, guys, so we're out here in the vendor area. We got another workshop. Sylvia Smith's wrapping up her juniper workshop. It was an amazing little workshop there with some great starter material, really good little junipers. And our vendors are just kind of taking it easy. From what I've heard from all of them today, they did really well this past couple of days. They're very happy. They all had a good time, and that's what I'm worried about here is just everyone's happy and having a great time. Good food, good music, good bonsai. And this is the last chance, so we got a couple people walking around making some last minute decisions. Maybe there was a pot that they saw that Byron's got or Eli's got, and they were like, oh, let me go grab that bonsai pot before I get out of here. Closing thoughts on this, we're definitely gonna bring this back next year. We're gonna try to do it better. I don't know about bigger. It was pretty big this time. I just want to make sure we iron out all the details for this one, sort out our itinerary a little bit more, and designate our spaces a little bit better, because it's always a challenge whenever we have all these things going on. And then, of course, I got to select my headliners for next year. So that'll be coming up soon. So Say Bonsai 2026, we'll have news announced on that in the near future. So thank you guys for hanging out and checking out the show, and we'll see you guys on the next one.